Yo guys, what's going on? It's your boy Blank09. Today, we're pretty excited. We're talking about the first ever instance of Modern Warfare's multiplayer being revealed to the public. If you guys know, a bunch of streamers, we got Syndicate, Legion, Courage, and Optic TP went out to Infinity Ward Studios and streamed the new gunfight game mode that's coming to the game. And we got a lot of new information and a lot of things that we can kind of nitpick just based on this first hour of gameplay that we've seen. But I'll make another video talking about all that sort of stuff because I've noticed a lot of things, but I know that there's some things that I've missed. So I want to go back and watch the gameplay again and kind of analyze it and see what else I can kind of point out. But today's video, we're just going to be talking about my thoughts and opinions on gunfight and as well as the multiplayer as a whole, because while this isn't the proper thing, and we're going to get a proper multiplayer reveal on August the 1st, or a full thing, so not just a 2v2 game mode, we're going to get everything pretty much. Just seeing this first hour of gameplay here, there's a lot of things that I've noticed, and there's a lot of things that I can I want to talk about in this kind of first impressions video. And yeah, so the first thing I want to kind of point out is the way that the guns kind of move and act in the environment that they're set in. I noticed a lot of recoil when the guns are being shot. I noticed the guns behaving differently just depending on the way you shoot them. So for example, if you had a fully auto weapon that was a more powerful weapon like an LMG or a sniper rifle, when you have an LMG and you're firing it fully automatically, just holding down the trigger, then the recoil is going to be fucking crazy. With the sniper rifle, with every single shot you take, with the sniper rifle we mostly saw in the gameplay reveal was a 50 caliber sniper rifle. Since those 50 caliber rounds are so powerful, every shot you take, the sniper rifle would give a lot of kick, so there was a lot of recoil there. When you had guns like the AUG, when you had guns like the MP7 that we saw during the live stream as well, that's when you saw the guns behave kind of normally, but they still had a bit of recoil on it. When you were using the holographic sight, it didn't seem like there was too much recoil on that, but also because there were a lot of grip attachments attached to the guns to kind of balance out the recoil there. When we saw the MP5 being used with the red dot sight, I noticed that there was a lot of recoil there. When the M1911 and the Desert Eagle used pistols, you saw the pistol being clocked back and forth as the shots were being taken, hindering the way you'd aim, hindering the way you'd normally shoot, but the recoil was definitely there. When shotguns were being used, I noticed that the shotguns behaved differently in this game than they have in previous games as well. The way that the characters were animated and the way that they handle the guns and the way they run with the guns is differently too. Usually in Call of Duty, you'd have the gun up, and then when you'd run, you'd have the gun down. In this game, you could have the gun up, and then you'd have the gun down. You could be holding the gun with one hand. You could be doing a multiple of different things that changes the way that you aim, changes the way you ADS back, because it's different going from down to up, from up to down. Just the different animations are different in this game, and I noticed those little minute details. The other thing that I wanted to point out, the time to kill in this game seems to be very similar to all the other Infinity Ward games like Call of Duty Ghosts and Infinite Warfare. Basically, it's a fast time to kill, so the guns kill a lot quicker. Even though your health may be the same that it has been in previous games, the guns are just a lot more powerful, so the time to kill is a lot less. I don't mind it. My favorite time to kill is, I like the way Sledgehammer does their time to kill. For me, the way that Treyarch does it is really good as well. So Treyarch have a slow time to kill. Sledgehammer is kind of in the middle between Infinity Ward and Treyarch, which is why I like their time to kill. But the Infinity Ward one's okay. Like, we'll get used to it as the year goes by. Like, it's not a bad time to kill in any sense. It's just really, really quick, which makes the game a lot more fast paced, which means you do die a lot quicker. But that's pretty much it. The other thing that I noticed when watching this is that your health doesn't regenerate. I don't know if that's specific to gunfight. Maybe it's just a gunfight thing, or if it's a full multiplayer thing where in the whole multiplayer you actually can't heal. So in that sense, it's a lot like Rainbow Six Siege. in Rainbow Six Siege, you can't actually heal unless you have a doc, and the doc can heal himself and other players, but it's not a full heal. That's what it's kind of like here in Gunfight, and what it might be here in the multiplayer. Every time you spawn in Gunfight, you get a new loadout, and in that loadout, you get a tactical and a lethal, and in that loadout, you may or may not get a stim pack. The stim pack is what we've seen in Black Ops 4, where you have the ability to heal yourself. It's back here in Modern Warfare, and seemingly it's going to be the way that you heal. Maybe it's not going to be in the full multiplayer. Maybe in the multiplayer you'll heal like normally, but maybe, just maybe, you won't be able to heal in multiplayer, which would be quite interesting. It would definitely change the way a lot of people play the game. It would promote a bit more campiness, and I think that removing the player's ability to heal overall slows down the gameplay. Even though the time to kill is a lot faster, removing that function, removing that aspect of gameplay from the player just slows the whole game down in general. I don't think it would benefit the game, in my opinion. I think that it's cool for Gunfight, and I think it's cool for those little 2v2, 1v1, 3v3 game modes that are seemingly going to be coming back here in Modern Warfare, that were once in Modern Warfare 3 with the face-off game modes. I think it's cool for those modes, and I think it's cool for certain game modes, but your team deathmatch, your kill confirms, domination, those game modes, it doesn't really work without the ability to heal. Maybe the healing mechanic will come into Modern Warfare where it was in Black Ops 4, but the way that the HUD is set out in this game, it doesn't fit the whole healing mechanic. It doesn't fit within the HUD, so I'm not too sure how I feel about it. I'm not a fan. Okay, I am sure how I feel about it actually. I'm not a fan of the ability not to heal. If that's in Gunfight, that's cool, I'm fine with that. But if it's in the real game, then that's something that I'm not too keen on. The other things that I realized is that a lot of the guns that were leaked, and a lot of the kind of, just like, it was really the guns that I was noticing. A lot of the guns that were leaked were actually in the game, which leads me to believe all the other rumors and leaks that we've been talking about in the past week are true. It leads me to believe that all that stuff is true, because as I was watching this hour of gameplay, I was looking at the guns and I was reading the names of the guns, and I was kind of checking back to the list of reportedly leaked weapons in the game, and I was like, hey, the MP7's here, the MP5's here, the AUG is here, and it's not an assault rifle, it's an SMG. What? The Desert Eagle's here, the M1911's here. I was just looking at, because in Gunfight, when every time you spawn, you spawn with a new loadout, and every time a new loadout would come, I'd be like, hang on, that was from the leak. So could Battle Royale be coming, right? Could the tactical nuke be coming back? Could we be getting Modern Warfare 2 remastered multiplayer? I don't know, because man, it was very interesting to watch it, right, and to see all these guns come up, and just being like, oh, that was from the leak, wasn't it? That was from that one list, and that was from that game. And it seems like, to me, that Modern Warfare is going to be, weapons wise, is going to be a best of Call of Duty Modern Warfare game. We're going to get all our fan favorite guns. We got the FAMAS was there. I saw the gameplay of the FAMAS. We got the MP5, we got the MP7, we got the Deagle, we got the 1911. Like, it seems like it's going to be like a best of type game. In terms of sniper rifles, again, I forgot to touch on this when we were talking about the recoil. In terms of sniper rifles, it's going to be very similar to how sniper rifles worked in COD Ghosts. The way you ADS, and just the look of the scope as well when you ADS, is very, very similar to COD Ghosts. Grenades as well. When you have a frag grenade and you pull it, and obviously you have your timer until you let it go and it explodes. That's ripped straight from COD Ghosts. The what was it? the way that players have, when you had first blood and then the call out would come out in the top right corner of the screen to say this player got first blood, that was very similar to, what game was it? It was either Ghosts or Infinite Warfare. It was one of those two games that was ripped straight from it, copy paste. As well as that, it felt like to me the guns changed, and the way that the guns sound when you shoot them changed based on the environment that the player was in. So there was a map that they were playing. It was a real close, I think it was the Desert Container Yard, that map. And when you were in and around the shipping containers, the guns would sound a lot different to when you were out on the sides near all the different crates and stuff like that. It was interesting to see that, because we've seen that in Call of Duty before, but it hasn't really gone to this extent where in Call of Duty's previously, it was like if you're in a container, the gun will sound different. But now it's like it feels like in different settings, in different environments, the guns sound different, because that makes sense, right? If you're in a more open area, the guns will be the gunshots will be louder. If you're in a more closed area, if you're in an open area, the guns will sound softer and not as loud. If you're in a closed area, the guns will sound a lot louder because you're in a closer proximity to where the weapon's being fired. Just little bits and details like that is stuff like that I noticed when watching this first hour of gameplay. But I have a lot more to talk about. I have a lot more to analyze, and I have a lot more to kind of to look into, and I'll make a whole another video once I've looked at this hour and kind of analyzed it a lot more. Yeah, my first impressions basically is I like it. I like what I see. It looks really realistic. The animations, the recoil, the gun sounds, it looks really realistic. And it seems like it's going to be a pretty fun year for Call of Duty. But August 1st is when we're going to learn a lot more about it, and we can make a more definitive opinion on where we think this game is going. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a like if you did. Comment down below, if you watched this hour of gameplay, what was your standout moment? What moment made you go, oh shit, that's pretty dope? Click subscribe if you're new here, click the bell for alerts, because you don't want to miss out on my next analyzation of this gameplay that we just saw. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.